We're gonna go inside, we're gonna go outside, inside and outside. We're gonna get them on the run, boys. And once we get them on the run, we're gonna keep them on the run. And then we're gonna go. And we're not gonna stop until we get across that goal line. This is a team they say is good. Well, I think we're better than them. They can't lick us. What do you say, man?
Well, good morning, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. Yes, I got to work today. Today is day 3 of a 6-day work week. We call this hump day for the regular worker, not me. I'll be working Saturday. But the good news is after Saturday, I will be off for, I think, 26 days. I don't go back till after the first Thursday night game of the NFL season. I don't go back till that Friday, the day after. Go back for a couple days, off again Sunday. Let's go, baby. We're going to do a lot of content here. Don't forget, we got our channel member Zoom call tonight at 8 o'clock. If anybody's not a channel member, now's the time, people. We need some mailheads. We call them the mailhead crew. I think I'm 26 strong right now. A little join button right near my name. It's like $4.99 a month. I think just over 5 with tax. We do multiple Zoom calls a week that you can be a part of. I send you a Zoom link, put it in the community tab that only channel members can access, and you guys sign up and hop in with me. So hope to see more mailheads coming out. We are coming up on we're like a couple months away from the 6-month mark where I'm going to send everybody out something that hangs in with me for 6 months. I got to figure out exactly what that's going to be, but we'll come up with something good, whether it be shot glasses or something cool, but customized, that is. But I wanted to do a video. I will be doing my drive-in video as well. I will, but want to do a video at the top of the show. I do want to say this is game week, people. Game week on Sunday. I'm going to try and stream it, assuming that they play it live in my area. Sometimes they won't do that. Sometimes they will not play it live in my area. So let me see something here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, yeah, sometimes they won't play it live. I can't seem to find it, but we'll see. Sometimes NFL Network likes to delay the game, so I'll be doing it live if indeed they are going to be live at kickoff. We'll see. If not, maybe I'll record it when they do go live, and it'll just be on delay and you can go back and watch it, but that's not fun for everybody. But anyway, yeah, this is game week. I wanted to start off this video by talking about Dwayne Thomas, former Cowboys running back, the original. Well, here you go. Here you go. Here we go. The original number 33 before Tony Dorsett, Dwayne Thomas. So we want to shout out to Dwayne Thomas, former Cowboys running back. Dwayne Thomas died Sunday. The team confirmed he was 77. The Cowboys made Thomas a first-round pick in 1970. That was a few months before I was born. I was born in August of 71, so a year before. He led the team in rushing and rookie 803 yards and 5 touchdowns. He accounted for 358 yards and 2 touchdowns on 81 touches in 3 postseason games, including a Super Bowl loss to the Colts. Thomas wanted a new contract and refused to report to training camp in 1971, while commencing in name-calling that included referring to Coach Tom Landry as Plastic Man. No man at all. The Cowboys traded Thomas to the Patriots, but after problems between Thomas and Coach John Mazur, NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle made the unprecedented move, avoiding part of the trade. That's crazy. Thomas returned to Dallas, but boycotted the press, team management, and teammates, refusing to talk to anyone. Still, he led the league in rushing touchdowns with 11, total touchdowns of 13, and gaining 793 yards and 946 yards. Before Super Bowl VI, when Thomas finally talked, he offered one of the most famous quotes in NFL history. If it's the ultimate game, how come they're playing it again next year? Interesting. Thomas rushed for 205 yards and 3 touchdowns in 3 postseason games, including 95 yards in the Cowboys' Super Bowl victory over the Dolphins. The Cowboys traded him again to the Chargers, but he failed to report to training camp, and the Chargers traded him to Washington. He played only 2 seasons with Washington, rushing for 442 yards. Kind of interesting. I did not know that story. Very, very interesting. We got some news here also when it comes to Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk, he's moving on, people. He is moving on. Let me pull it up here. Well, he's moving on, but yeah, well, he ain't going to play with the 49ers. I'm trying to find it here. Brandon Aiyuk's holding is working, in part because it's irritating Kyle. It's irritating Kyle Flatbrim Shanahan. Kyle can't win the Super Bowl. Kyle. But Nick Bosa says Brandon Aiyuk is a very tough player to replace. Yeah, it's going to hurt them. He won't be a Niner. Supposedly Steelers, now they are starting it off by saying, well, there's a chance he could come back long term. I think that Kyle Shanahan's tired of it. Oh, well. Chris, it's, again, I told everybody that the Bang Bang 49ers will not win it again. There's too much stacked against the team to go back-to-back. They will not get to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to win the division. They could, but all things being equal, I love the Rams. I love Seattle. I think Seattle had a down year last year and still won some games, but I like them to lose, the 49ers. It's kind of like a karma thing. But Christian McCaffrey's out for the preseason with another calf strain. So, And I think what they have going on is the Browns and the Steelers both bidding against themselves, both division rivals. So that's a smart thing. Now there could be another team that comes out of the middle of nowhere. The longer this goes out, games actually are start to be played. Um, Maybe there's an injury, and then all of a sudden, yo, we want Brandon Aiyuk. You know what I mean? Something can happen. The longer this this goes for, the more teams it could potentially open up. So look out for that. But it doesn't seem like Ayuk is coming back to the Niners. The Dallas Cowboys. We get into our Cowboys. Team announced the signing of linebacker Darius Harris, defensive tackle Albert Hudgens, and linebacker Nick Vigil. The Cowboys waived rookie linebacker defensive end Byron Vaughn. Remember, they had some roster spots. So I don't know that these are anybody more than camp bodies, maybe some bodies that play in the game. I know they like what they've seen. So maybe it's guys that get through these preseason games without showing too much of a particular linebacker to try and get them to the practice squad. I'm not positive, but let me share my screen with you guys. There we go. Do I want that? Yeah, that's fine. Let's see if it's at 150. It is. Yeah. They also placed wide receiver CeeDee Lamb on the reserve did not report list, a procedure removed to give them an opening on their 90-day roster. So that's what that's for. They needed, that opening. Lamb is holding out of training camp. He seeks a long-term contract extension. So this may be a little longer than that I had thought. I thought it'd be done by this week, but Dallas, Dallas can't seem to do their moves in a timely fashion. We got another roster spot because they actually placed Sam Williams on injured reserve, ending the season after a torn medial and anterior cruciate ligaments. He tore the ACL and MCL. Harris, 28, spent 4 seasons with the Chiefs, playing 33 games and 6 starts. He had 58 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 pass breakups. Kind of interesting that the Eagles didn't go out and get a guy like Harris. He's 28 years old. He's got a lot of skins on the wall. Nick Vigil, who turns 31 this month, was a third-round pick of the Bengals in 2016. He also played for the Cardinals and Chargers. He's more of a camp body, people. For his career, Vigil has 445 tackles, 5 sacks, and 3 interceptions. Hudgens, a 27, played for the Eagles, Lions, Saints, Falcons in the past 4 years. He appeared in 27 games, 6 starts, and total of 41 tackles. Is another guy who's probably a camp body. So just wanted to get you up to date on the latest Cowboys signings. So I wanted to go through yesterday's practice. We will be looking at some of the video. I'm probably going to turn down the music so I don't get copyrighted if there is music. I haven't really previewed it, but the Cowboys had a competitive practice on Tuesday on the offense and defense having its share of moments. Here are some of the top observations from the Cowboys staff writers. It's becoming a daily thing to discuss how well Jalen Cropper is performing in camp, and credit to him for taking full advantage. Jalen Cropper is taking advantage of CeeDee Lamb not being there, as well as everybody else. Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. We can't keep them all, people. That's what cracks me up. People think we need receivers. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I told you that these young guys need reps. That's what I told you. So it's becoming a daily thing. On Tuesday, Cropper was on fire in team drills, ended the day with 2 touchdowns from Dak Prescott to go along with a list of other timely catches with all the talk of the Jalens. Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. Cropper made sure everyone knew he was still very much in the competition. So Also, another guy I've been talking about possibly trading. Can't keep them all. If we can get John Ridgeway or somebody else, but maybe not. Maybe not. Eric Scott Jr. this week, the former 6th round pick. Remember, we drafted him in the 6th, but we traded a 5 in this past year's draft. So we gave up a 6 and a 5 for this kid for Dan Quinn, for DQ. He's Eric Scott's scratching and clawing to earn reps in year 2 behind Jordan Lewis. There's a rookie 5th round pick. Kalen Carson makes wave. Yeah, so they're going to have Eric Scott on the inside. And Kalen Carson's going to be that extra guy. Kalen he's been making waves on the outside. Scott finished Tuesday with more than one pass breakup and some physical covers against receivers, often staying in the hip pocket. The human seatbelt 2.0, Eric Scott. So let's see here. Who else we got? During goal line work, the defense did a solid job of keeping the offense out of the end zone multiple plays, no matter if it was Zeke, Rico, or even Hunter Lepke on a fullback dive. The defense was creating some internal pressure and stopping the offense at the line. It's been the first time in camp the goal line has worked has seen overwhelming defensive win. That's good. Tyler Guyton was out for 3 days. I don't know if it was COVID, people, but he was sick. Not good. Returned to practice field after missing 3 days with an illness as he worked with individual drills in the beginning of practice before coming off during team drills. Guyton said after practice that it's still undetermined if he will be a full go in time for Thursday's joint practice. He needs to be. He definitely needs to be. But I know one thing. He's been handling everything that they're throwing at him. Not always winning, but not getting so beat that it's embarrassing. Handling DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, that's not an easy feat to do, to be able to block these guys. So he's doing a fantastic job with that. And I want to play a little bit of video. I'll comment through it. I may have to take out, like, we'll see. We're going to let it go for a little bit. It's going to be when they want to break it up. It's about a 9-minute video. It's just the highlights inside training camp number 13, practice number 13. So let's check it out.
For the Cowboys as they face the Rams coming up. What can we expect over these next 7 days?
Yeah, here we are. It's a joint practice on Thursday with the Los Angeles Rams. It's obviously going to be a lot of fun, a lot of competition, a lot of intensity. Mike McCarthy talked about it in his press conference this morning. That intensity is starting to ramp up as we head into roughly week 3 of training camp, but this is the best time of year. Preseason's around the corner. A lot of these young guys are looking to prove themselves. It's going to be a fun week. Stay tuned.
And if you take today's practice and compound it with Saturday's practice, a lot of intensity, a lot of opportunity as well for some of these young guys. You asked Mike McCarthy about that opportunity, and he was very impressed with how this young class, rookie class, has been heading in the right direction.
Yeah, Saturday's practice was super entertaining. The blue-white practice went about 30 minutes longer than any other practice we've seen out here in Oxnard. And with the off day on Sunday, maybe Mike McCarthy was pushing those young guys a little bit more, and we saw them respond. And Mike McCarthy said that these next 2 days will be even more challenging for them. They're finishing up those 2 installs, like you said, and that's typically the time where the youth really starts to hit a wall. Now, will this rookie class be able to push through? Nothing we've heard from the entire coaching staff, from the entire team, has indicated that they won't be able to push through that wall. A real blue-collar mentality in this rookie class, and that's trickling down throughout the youth on this team.
McCarthy said that in terms of the mental side of things, this rookie class is comparing with the 22 rookie class, and we saw what kind of impact that 2022 class had going into their rookie year. Now, I want to talk about a couple young guys as well that won't be practicing or did not practice the last 2 times out on the practice field. And that's Tyler Guyton and Luke Schoonmaker. Of course, Guyton, the rookie first-round pick out of Oklahoma. He was unable to play because of an illness. He did work back in with the bands today with Britt Brown. However, Luke Schoonmaker missed another day of practice, former second-round pick at tight end. Which one of those guys needs these reps more going into the year?
Yeah, I think you could make an argument for either. You look at Tyler Guyton, he's trying to be that starting left tackle in time for week 1. These reps are so valuable. He needs that experience, and he needs it in a hurry. But you also look at Luke Schoonmaker in his second season trying to carve out a firm role in that tight end room.
Yeah,
these reps are just as important to him as well.
him.
So I think the case could be made for either of them.
And when we come back here on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, driven by Ford, no CeeDee Lamb still here in Oxnard, but who has been stepping up at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, I want to mute it there until it comes back. Silence of the Lamb. Yeah, it's a commercial, so we're going to let it roll through the commercial. There's Mark Holmes walking on the beach, hand in hand with his wife on the left-hand side there. There he goes. Family vacation. I hope he has a fun time. I said, you're having a vacation, right? He goes, F that vacation. And he's like, you're roughing it. Give me a break. You're spending time with the Cowboys, bro. You're spending time with Law Nation. You're spending time at Law Nation. You're spending time, like, we don't need to hear McCarthy. You're spending time with the wife, your daughters. You're spending time with the Cowboys that we love.
Lamb holdout that continues into week number 3, brought to you by Sleep Number. Back here with Nick Harris, I'm Kyle Yeomans. And Nick, it does start to get more and more concerning as you get closer to game action. Of course, a game coming up on Sunday with the Los Angeles Rams. But with no CD, how much of a concern is it for this offense as a whole? Because not only is he missing reps,
he needs to get in here soon.
Yeah, if you ask the offense, there's not a ton of concern. You look at the depth of that wide receiver room, and there's definitely going to have to be some guys that step up and take that extra step this offseason and into training camp with the departure of Michael Gallup, who is now retired.
What I worry about, okay, everything's fine. I said 1 to 2 weeks. What I worry about is if you're going into the regular season. And he just needs a good week of practice, honestly. He's been working with Dak all offseason. You just worry about those soft tissue injuries. You know he's running a lot, but it's different when you're being covered. So, again, our schedule's tough out of the gate, people. We're going to start getting into these schedule predictions over the next... After the first 2 preseason games, I'll have them in the tank, in the vault, and I'll be releasing them. I'm trying to find graphics to make them look good, but as far as wins and losses, but, this is broke ass, so we'll see. But, yeah, he needs to get in here a good 10 days before the end of training, before the first game. But I predicted he'll be here before week 2. I figured it was an easy contract, but nothing seems to be easy with this front office, people.
After a brief stint with the Raiders, there's going to have to be a guy that steps into a major role. And so far, we've seen Jalen Tolbert take that extra step. Jalen Brooks, these extra reps have been super valuable for those 2 Jalens. Then you look at the bottom. Who's going to be those 5th and 6th roster spots? You have Devontae Turpin, who has a safe roster spot with a returner slot. But you also have guys like Tyron Billy Johnson, Jalen Cropper, Cam Johnson, David Durden. All of these guys have had strong camps. It's just about separating themselves. Preseason will be a big part in separating.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to see guys like Racey McMath, David Durden have big success, and they'll be cut and picked up, but they're not going to play. That'll be something to look out for Sunday. Who aren't they playing, okay? I think they'll play Jalen Brooks, but I don't know that they're going to play Jalen Tolbert. I think he's played that well in the preseason, like I told everybody, but relax. We're good on receiver. Very good.
Those guys.
And that's the big thing is if you look at really this roster, you mentioned all those names, CD, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert. Those are probably your 3 starters right now. But after that, there's really 3 spots up for grabs at the wide receiver position. You would think, like you said, Turpin has that 4th spot locked up because of his returnability. Where do you see the other ones starting to fall in? I know it's early and we still have 3 full preseason games to play, but where do you see these things lying at the wide receiver spot?
Yeah, Jalen Brooks is for sure in that mix as well. And then if they want to carry 6 receivers, then that's where it starts to get really dicey. Who's going to be that last spot? You look at Tyron Billy Johnson's case. He's 28 years old. He's been in the league for a little bit longer than some of these other guys. He has speed, and this is the first time in his career that he has the same offense in back-to-back seasons. So he's really being able to sit in that confidence and soak up that knowledge and apply it to the field. But you also have youth and guys like Jalen Cropper, who's only 23 years old, or a Cam Johnson, who's only 22. There's a lot of different styles that I think the coaching staff could play with. If they want a big body, there's Racy McMath. So there's some different options for them. But again, preseason.
Long way to go. Do you think they could go short at wide receiver? Maybe just stick with those 5 guys that are solidified in that position to try and make a roster spot for another position that might need it?
Yeah, you saw that last year quite a bit too. I mean, Jalen Brooks, he had opportunities, but it wasn't necessarily as he was a firm placement in the offense. They definitely could, but then you look at, okay, where are you going to add an extra body? Is that to the tight end position? Is it to the running back position? And that's going to be some of the 53 dynamics that they get into.
I ain't adding no extra body to the running back room at all. No. We're cutting people. I'm sorry. We don't need to go. We usually don't go with 2. I think we went with 2 running backs one year. Rico, I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks like prime time zone. Deuce Vaughn is banged up. He may be start out the year on PUP if he can't get over this injury. That's what sucks. I'm worried for Deuce Vaughn, but Mark Hutchinson, I know you wouldn't be upset, but I think the 2 that are on the team, probably 3, is, well, I know the 2 that are on the team, barring, injury, is Zeke and Hunter Lepke. After that, it's probably Rico Dowdle, and everybody else is gone. I think Deuce Vaughn makes it if he's healthy, but I don't think he's going to get cut, Deuce. I think he would be on the injured list or start out the year on the injured list. I think Deuce Vaughn will be on this team. They have a lot of packages for him. So, again, maybe the running back isn't in this room here. If that's the case, I would release Rico Dowdle and go get yourself another running back. But again, I will not go heavy in that position. And tight end, I'm curious. That's one of the positions I'm very excited to see in this preseason game. Is the tight ends, because John Stevens has started off slower this year. He's not what he was last year coming off the ACL, but he still is the second best tight end in camp. He was a star last year. I haven't heard much from Brevin Spann-Ford. I don't know if we could slide him under the radar on the practice squad. Again, all this has to play out. What I'm getting to is last year we heard the same thing. Every year we hear, these receivers are looking great. Remember Dennis Houston? He was a star until the game started, and then he didn't show up at all. He couldn't beat his man. So all this talk about Jalen Moreno, Cropper, we'll see what he could do. Tyrone Billy Johnson does have skins on the wall. That's an interesting spot. I would go 6, especially with the lack of running that we're going to be having. Lepke is right now, Rico and Zeke. I'd go 6 wideouts and roll them in. That's just me.
Into whenever they get back to Frisco.
And Mike McCarthy said he really hasn't even touched the 53 roster at this moment. He's looking at workload. He's looking at different elevations from individuals. He's looking at gameplay. He's not even trying to piece together the roster. But that's what we're here for. We're here to try and piece it together for you guys at home. When we come back on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, we've got a game this week. It's the...
All right, they're going to do a commercial, so we are going to mute it. And then what we'll do is watch the rest and get out of here. Look at that. I remember when I went to Hawaii, there's right there at Hilton Hawaiian Village, there's a harbor that looks like that, and that's how they did the opening to Gilligan's Island.
Ford alongside Nick Harris. I'm Kyle. This week,
come on, shut your music up.
Practice. We'll have some special training camp live opportunities to see that on the YouTube channel and the Cowboys social channels throughout the day. But even more so, we're going to get to see the best look of this Cowboys team so far. What else can we expect throughout the week going into that joint practice in the preseason game?
I mentioned it earlier, intensity. This is the time when preseason's around the corner.
Baby.
Guys are going to be starting to separate from each other on the depth chart. But also, if you're looking more so from the first team, then you're looking at these guys getting a little bit more comfortable within each other. On the offensive side of the ball, that's going into the second year of the Mike McCarthy system. Dak trying to add a little bit of nuance to his game as well, a little bit of different alignments when it comes to the running back position. How will that committee approach work out? And then on the defensive side of the ball, first year under Mike Zimmer, how is this going to manifest as these final installs come into the picture over the course of the week? We've seen a lot of different disguising coverages from the corners and the linebackers. It's really helped the offense, but it's also helped the youth on that defense, being able to account for a lot of things at once. I think as we get closer and closer to these preseason games, you're only going to see that intensity ramp up and that separation start to divide as you see the guys who are really being able to apply that knowledge and the guys who might need a little bit more time too.
And I think the number one thing is you have to be ready for that joint practice because it's a little bit different than going against your own guys on a day-to-day basis. You get to see a little bit different, so there's a little bit of a different intensity to it. You're going to see guys like Puka Nacua, got a little bit banged up earlier in the week, but they still expect him to practice moving forward. You've got guys like Matthew Stafford, who's won a Super Bowl ring before at the quarterback position. This is going to be a fun challenge. No Aaron Donald this time. I know Cowboys fans remember what happened when Aaron Donald made the trip out to Oxnard back in 2021. So lots to look forward to. That comes up on Thursday. Of course, the first preseason game coming up Sunday. Countdown to kickoff gets started on CBS 11 and the Dallas Cowboys Regional Network at 2 p.m. Central Time. And then you've got a 3 p.m. kickoff on Sunday as well. For Nick Harris, I'm Kyle Yeomans. That'll do it for Inside Cowboys Training Camp.
All right, that's it for Inside Cowboys Training Camp. I just wanted to give you a little taste of what was going on with what to expect for the rest of the week as far as the Rams. So the Rams kickoff is 3 local, 4 Eastern, which may bode well, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling. I'll have to check. I got YouTube TV, so I got to figure that out. But, we'll have to see if it's going to be local. So, but all right, baby, that's it for me. You'll see a video in a little bit. Wait, hold up. August 6th. What's this? Yeah, that'll be another video. Let me see. Hold up. What's today? Okay, today's the 7th, right? Well, we could roll into that if you guys want.
I'm Kyle Young. It's going to be a fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll roll into that. I'm just trying not to hear the music.
Down.
Yeah, let's keep it. This was yesterday's practice. Okay, this was yesterday's practice. So, looks like it's the number 1 defense out there against the number 1 offense. Remember, Tyler Guyton was out at left tackle. So you got Chuma Edoga, number 71, playing. You got Deuce Vaughn laughing in the background, hurt. So did you notice the camera zoomed in? They don't want to have a wide. Here we go. Ooh, tip ball. I think that was Damone Clark. That tips the ball. I didn't know we had this, so let's roll with it. Let's make it a big video. We built it up, and now we're giving it to you. So I know Trey Lance has been doing a lot better. So now we got the second team in, it looks like. Justin Rogers, Junior Fehoko. Yes, this is so you got Trey Lance with the 3s. Cooper Rush. Ooh, sticky, baby. Sticky. That was Eric Scott Jr., I believe, number 37. Yep, Eric Scott. Oh, he got rid of the junior, but Eric Scott there, again, he's a guy who's stepping up. This doesn't bode well for if he indeed makes the team and we don't flip him for something. Now, if you notice, Dakota Shipley, or no, okay, he's playing, okay, so we are going with Cooper Beebe is the second. He's moved up to second team. He's been struggling with it, but look, he's a beast though. Cooper Beebe's a beast when it comes to the inside. He's definitely doing better. You could definitely tell he's doing a better job. His problem is snaps. People don't realize how hard it is to play in the NFL where you're shotgun snapping when you've never done it, when there's a beast like Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter sitting in front of you. You know. Number 93, he needs to shine or I'm cutting his ass. I'm sorry, prime time. Junior Fehoko needs to do something. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is still the second team. Sticky defense. That's Buddy Johnson. Buddy Johnson, 57. Tell you, our linebackers are really good this year. This scheme, you know what Jalen Brooks said? He goes, it's like the difference between this scheme is a confusion disguise. All right, number 65. Is that him? I think that's Shipley is in there now. Yeah, Shipley 65. Who's that? Is it Jalen Moreno Cropper, I think? Who was that? Or was that Brooks? But Brooks is looking good. If you look at our receivers, you got CD when he gets there, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. Oh, Siri, stop. Dak's in there. Is that Schoon? Luke Schoon. Schoonmaker. He's back, people. Schoonmaker. So it'll be interesting to see. Is that Brandon Cooks? Look, a little guy. Oh, he's such a little guy. Brandon Cooks getting a lot of flack down where I'm at. Zeke. Brock Hoffman is the starting center. Oof. They had him. They had Zeke. They had him. Defensive line looking good. Looks like they still got Golston on the inside. You got Osa on the inside. Osa Odigizua is in a contract year. I did hear that Al Qadim Muhammad is a lot better than Shaka Toney. So I don't expect Shaka Toney to make the roster. Muhammad, we'll see. Muhammad will probably make the roster. There he is, Jalen Moreno Cropper. He's a speedster. Making a lot of plays. So is he going to take the number 6? I think David Durden might be. I don't think David Durden. Like these preseason games are big for guys like Jalen Brooks, my guy, number 83. He's to our right. The offense, he's on the left. Wanye Thomas. Nobody's open. Who's number 13? I forget who that is. I forget who number 13 is. Jalen Brooks is 83. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who 13 is. So, Mozzie, there we go. A little Mozzie action. Remember, his job is to take on the double team. That's his job. And allow Micah and everybody else to flow. Micah, as you see, he's all over the place. Rico, Deron Bland, Donovan Wilson's out there. Golston. Golston is a big dude. So it looks like they're using Golston inside still. But he's a guy who can go up and down the line, but it looks like they're using him inside. So, number 97, Osa. He's a stud, people. He's just a 3-tech. But he's really good against the run. Another stuffed run again. So they're going with Golston and Odigizua as the D tackles. I heard Carl Davis has stepped up. Donovan Wilson. No. Brandon Cooks had a couple steps on Nashawn Wright. I do remember every time Nashawn Wright was actually in the game, every time he's actually in the game, people go at him. He's a big boy. Look at him. Nashawn. I heard Israel Mukwamu, the star in the Tampa Bay game. Everybody was a star in that playoff game, but he's not looking good. So we shall see. We shall see when it comes to that. See if Brandon Aubrey makes it. It's good. I tell you, man, they found a diamond in the rough with that guy. They definitely did. Definitely. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see if I can hear some sound.
And looking to build on that. Don't know how you build on that other than to just be consistent, but he's going to be very interesting to watch outside of that, just from a place kicking standpoint with the new rules.
Let's watch 96.
Second team up after the 3 on the board. Offense would love to get a touchdown here to try and continue building on their points. Defense, you could probably argue the defense has more depth at this point in camp, but there's a good take from Malik Davis, opposite side, a little outside handoff, and he took it for a good game.
And for Malik Davis and even the guys like Snoop Connor, they're going to need to definitely take advantage of these reps. Royce Freeman, this is his second practice missed with an injury. Deuce Vaughn, he's missed several practices now with the hamstring. Just more reps for Malik Davis. Snoop Connor, how can they start to take advantage of that? Maybe make some waves on this depth chart.
Cooper Rush out of the shotgun. Another thing to keep an eye on, Cooper Beebe snaps. He's been better today. Good snap there. Good one. Rush likes a look. He's got David Durden open and into the end zone. That'll be a touchdown for the offense and 7 points on the board.
And you know that's an absolute dot from Cooper Rush, and he's had a very
David Durden, he's coming back from an ACL. He's the guy that I was told that was number 53 last year. He would have been the last player to make the team. So, we'll see. There's just not a lot of room. You can't keep them all, people.
Absolutely.
Was able to make the right move and then catch the pylon. So the one's back up. It is currently 10-4 in favor of the offense. First 1 to 18 is where we're going. So the offense can get within a point here if they can put a touchdown on the board again. Dak. Little reverse. Little play action to Ezekiel Elliott, and then he ends up giving it to Jalen Brooks. Brooks didn't get very far. It looked like the defense read it well.
And who was back there? Marist Leofau. We just finished talking about the Notre Dame product, and he's playing like his hair is on fire, and he's looking for some water. He's really picking this up quickly, getting more comfortable under the wings of Eric Kendricks and Damone Clark, and he's reacting.
Got a nickel set now. You've got Parsons and Kendricks in the middle. That's a give to Zeke. Zeke with a hole.
Yeah.
That would have been a decent gain. Of course, you can't tackle the running backs. It's tough to really see how far they could have gone.
Right.
But he hit the hole perfectly, and it would have been close to a first down.
Absolutely. And keep in mind that there were two reasons the Cowboys' rushing attack struggled last year. And one of those reasons was the offensive line and the carousel of injuries. So to see this offensive line opening lanes like that in training camp is promising.
So that was third down and short. They decided to just rush it right down the middle to get the first down, move the chains. They did just that, and it's 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. They pick up the initial first down. This drill, by the way, starting at the 25. So it's not true red zone work, but it's just outside the red zone that this team is working for.
This is actually where you take your shots. The closer you get, the harder it gets.
I like that. Deron Bland on Jalen Brooks, opposite side. Jordan Lewis is on Jalen Cropper, who we mentioned earlier. Prescott, hand to Zeke. Zeke with another good cut. I like what they've seen so far from Zeke Elliott.
Now, that was definitely a great cutback from Ezekiel Elliott. He recognized quickly that the lanes were not going to develop on his left side, plants his foot in the ground, does not waste any time, changes direction, finds a new lane, right side for a gain and potentially a first down. Good burst on that one from Zeke.
It looks like there may have been a penalty marker down, and they back up the offense. They called holding. So 1st and 20 now.
So delete that.
Good.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Good cut from Zeke. That doesn't change that.
Nonetheless.
Keep that one on film. You just go back and learn from it. 1st and 20 for Dak. Throws far side, complete to Brooks, who put a foot in the ground, and Nashawn Wright slipped out of it.
Jalen Brooks. We talk about Jalen Tolbert. We talk about Jalen Cropper, and Cropper is having a fantastic day, literally as we speak. But so is Jalen Brooks, and his catch radius, his ability to move with his footwork, as you just saw, it can be dangerous.
Communication out of the secondary, and the throw just high over Schoonmaker.
Like Schoonmaker.
That's put on the money. I think there was pressure there from Dak, but if it's on the money, that's a touchdown.
Yes, it is.
Wanye.
And one thing that's really jumping out to me is just how much chemistry Dak Prescott has with these receivers from the top of the depth chart all the way down to the bottom end of the depth chart. But that goes a lot to the work that they put in the offseason. Talk about the trip to Oregon with him and the receivers and just building that bond and that chemistry. It's really showing here in training camp.
3rd down and what looks to be 2 for the offense. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. There is a tight end in the formation. And Zeke Elliott. This one's thrown back in zone, looking for Turpin, and it's broken up by Jordan Lewis. Got the right hand on the football and batted it away.
Couple things I saw there. First and foremost, great push up the middle of that pocket by Mozzie Smith to make things a little bit uncomfortable for Dak Prescott on that throw, which was already a difficult one. And then Jordan Lewis just doing what Jordan Lewis does.
4th and 1. Offense elects to go for it. Remember, points aplenty. Chance for 7 points, and Dak got Micah Parsons to jump.
The Lions always hungry, and sometimes you can get them to bite a little early.
You think Dak understood the possibility there? You think Dak knew that would have had a chance to be successful?
I do think Dak recognized that disguise, was not buying it that time, and chose to draw the Lion off sides, and it worked.
You know, now that we're looking at it, they backed the offense up. I wonder if they called that a false start.
Yeah, I thought so.
Apologies to Micah
boys,
if that's indeed what they did. It might just be a situational thing, too. We'll have to go back and look at the tape. I didn't see anybody jump offensively, but we're also not at a very good angle for that. You know who is at a good angle, though? That's Brandon Aubrey.
Yes, Brandon Aubrey.
He's still got it.
Butter, if you're nasty.
13-8 now in favor of the offense. You'd have to think the offense, second team offense with Cooper Rush and company. It'll probably be Trey Lance out there this time.
Let's see
they have
Trey,
some extra
baby.
confidence the way they were driving down the field last time.
They do, but it needs to continue, especially for a guy like Trey Lance. He really needs to get on the right track in this training camp. He's made some good throws, and he's had a couple of exceptional throws, but Mike Zimmer has really thrown the kitchen sink at this young man, and he's testing him.
Final day of install, by the way, so the playbook starting to open up for the Cowboys, both on offense and defense. Trey Lance
has been looking better.
Lofts it up to Malik Davis. Good eye there from Lance
He
to
has
look
been
across his
looking
body
better.
and find its tailback.
Better still, great
so
patience
young.
from Lance. What I found earlier in camp is that it felt as if he was rushing through his progressions, a little bit panicked, so to speak, bailing out a little bit early from the pocket. On that particular play, he read the field, scanned right to left, found Malik Davis, comfortably made that throw, didn't try to do too much with it, just dropped it right in the bucket for the first down.
Don't try to do too much. That's something I'm sure Trey Lance has heard plenty of over the last few weeks. Getting to that
what's
point
there. There's always going to be
camp.
something there usually.
Pressure. That was from Viliami Fehoko. He does dump it off to Davis again, opposite side. Malik Davis getting in the action out of the backfield.
Listen, we just talked about Malik Davis and Snoop Conner, those guys needing to take advantage of
very few teams are locked down offense and defense. You see, I think actually Washington's going to be good on both sides of the ball. I'm not going to say lockdown on defense, but the Commanders are going to be good. Like the Eagles, they're going to be dynamic on offense if everything's clicking. Defense, I think the Giants defense going to be good, you would think, with all that talent. The offense is going to be better, but I don't know if either side is going to be locked down. I think Dallas's defense, everybody wants to talk about their offense. I think their offense is going to be elite. I do. But the running aspect of it is not going to be there like some of you want. We got to get enough. It would be not. Here's my concern. Okay, we got a 1-score lead in the fourth quarter. Who's getting the ball? Do we have that offensive line yet? They got to grow into that to where we could churn out those yards. But let's listen in to Trey Lance.
Might see a rep here to just see what Trey Lance sees in the red zone. Let him throw it. That's exactly what they're going to do. He sees Davis. No, that's Snoop Connor.
Nice
right
pass.
On the goal line, and he sneaks inside. The offense is going to win the drill 20-8.
Kyle, I'm starting to wonder, based on that drive with Trey Lance, if Malik Davis and Snoop Connor are doing double duty, playing and listening to us talk about them on Training Camp Live.
I really like it. Finishing things up here on.
But all right, we're going to stop it there. As you see, everybody, training camp is what it is, right? It's a work in progress. This is what I want everybody to remember when we go into this game on Sunday. Dallas's defense is going to be vanilla. They're not going to play a lot of frontline guys. A lot of guys coming off of ACL won't get playing time. Like the Marvin Overshone, I can't imagine he's going to play much. The young guys probably will, like a David Durden on offense, a John Stevens Jr. I'm really curious to see the wide receiver battle develop outside of the top four. I'm curious to see the offensive line work against there's not many teams played there once, but just remember when it comes to our defense, it's going to be very, very vanilla. They're not going to show a lot, people. What they're working on and disguise and coming up to, they're not going to show that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You have to learn, if anybody doesn't know, when it comes to the preseason, you have to look at preseason differently. Look at individual players beating their man in front of them. But I'm really looking forward to the tight ends because I was so high on John Stevens last year. How does Peyton Hendershot look to Brevin Spanford, the big rookie? As much as I like Brevin Spanford, he has to do it on the field. If not, he's going to get cut, and then we'll hopefully try and get him back on the practice squad. We're going to go Ferguson. We're going to go Schoonmaker. They're not letting Schoon go. They just don't let him go. I mean, when healthy, he's good. John Stevens and maybe Peyton Hendershot. So it's very, very interesting to me. But we'll see. We'll see it all play out. I'm curious to see what cornerbacks step up, and I'm curious to see Trey Lance. I've given him a hard time, so I don't think it's really fair that what we've been saying. But this is what happens. You're in the limelight, just like they were talking Jalen Hurts, how bad he was looking early on. I mean, it's not fair. But that's what we do. We're so starved and craved for football that we're going to analyze ad nauseum. But that's it for me. Like I said, I'm recording this. It's now 6:35. I was up early this morning. I was in bed early. 6:35, so yeah, I'll be heading to work in a couple hours. I'll have my morning drive-in video. I probably won't release this until after. Maybe I'll do a high noon release, and I'll make it a premiere. That's what we're going to do. We're going to release this as a premiere at high noon Eastern, 9 o'clock on the West Coast. All right, everybody. Before I go, I just want to remind you that Late.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!